What's up, YouTube fans? We're back with another Wednesday Night Live, or Wednesday Night Live. It's Friday Night Live. And sorry I was late. I should grab a chair. So I am in the middle of this guy right here. I was mid-transformation. I realized it was late. So decided to join this. So thanks for joining me. We did move live streams from Wednesday to Friday. So we are going to be doing this from now on. It won't be every Friday, but it will be as many Fridays as I can do. And I remember mentioning, at the beginning of the pandemic, we're going to probably have to move it, but now that time is here. So today we're going to talk about after sales service, or I guess just parts in general, breakage, repairs, that kind of thing. So I put a question in the chat. How many times have you contacted after sales service? So you can go ahead and fill out that survey. I'll actually share the screen here. Let me say hi to a few people first. So let's see. Oh, there's a lot of you guys here. So I was definitely late. So welcome, McClutierge, David North Clinical, Vinny Red, Big M, Michael Rogers, as always. Thank you for joining. Dr. Diecast, Larkin's Lair, thank you for coming. Let me say thank you to my members. We are up to 20 members, which is awesome. Thank you for joining. I never expected to even get 5 members, but now we're up to 20 members, so that's pretty cool. If you don't know, there is actually content for the members. I've been doing a few things. So there's a couple of things that are just unboxings that I don't do for everybody. I have a review coming that's members only, which is going to be the Super 7 Thundercats. So this right here. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And the other thing I have there, which you don't see on my channel, is bloopers. So I cut out basically almost every video, pretty much every video. I make mistakes, or I just screw up things, or I misspeak, or whatever. So I cut those out, and there's a lot of editing involved in my videos. If you don't know that, most reviewers need to do some editing. Paik is a phenomenal reviewer because he does it live, which is amazing. So anyway, so thank you for, and I guess Larkin just joined. Thank you, Larkin, for becoming a member. You didn't need to do that. Larkin's Lair, by the way, his channel has blown up. I mean, what an amazing run he's had. I mean, lots of really cool videos, all those new age stuff. I know he works with Toy Dojo, and he gets the new age stuff from them. So really awesome videos. Check out his channel. I'm very impressed, Larkin, in your progress and also your videos. It's awesome. Thanks for joining. And Princeton, thank you. So since I mean, I don't want donations, to be honest, but if you give them, then I'm going to have to say, okay, do you want to ask a question? Right. So if you donate like that, I mean, again, I don't want it, but since you did, the floor is yours to ask a question. All right. Larkin, I think I know why, because you're making a lot of cool videos. That's why you're blowing up. All right. So let's see what the survey says. So I asked, how many times have you contacted for after sales service? So this could be a retailer. It could be just direct to like Fans Toys or X Transbots or whoever. So about half of people said 0. They've never contacted for after sales service. That's impressive. I never would have thought it would be a 0. But that's fortunate. People don't need parts. We had 25% from 1 to 2, and then 12% 3 to 4, and then 12% more than 4 times. Myself, I have contacted way more than 4 times. And I'm talking all different companies. So, everybody, X Transbots, Fans Toys, MMC. When we had it, I think I contacted, what was it called? Omnigonics. Omnigonics has been out, and they didn't have after sales service. So I contacted my retailer. Now, so Team Tyrant, thank you for this question, because this is exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. So Team Tyrant says, how does after sales service work? Do you contact the company that made the figure or the company you bought it from? So it depends. If you buy your stuff from a reputable retailer, specifically a US retailer, they're really good about after sales service because they'll work with the company directly. They'll get your part to them, and then usually they'll ship it with your next order or whatever. So for example, if I ordered something from Toy Dojo and let's say something broke or I was missing something, and actually this happened recently. I was missing a panel on my Moon Studio train. So they just shipped it to me. So they contacted, and this is how I know Moon Studio is actually Zeta, because they told me that they contacted Zeta, and Zeta takes a while to get parts. So I got the part to Toy Dojo, and then they shipped it to me, and then I installed it. So that's how it works with those retailers. If you buy it from eBay, very unlikely that they're going to give you after sales service. So just know that, if you buy from eBay, you're probably not going to have after sales service through your eBay seller. So you'll have to contact the company directly. In the graphic I put up actually for this live stream, I had a whole bunch of the names. And actually, I'm hoping Dr. Diecast or Mike Rogers, if you could do me a favor, since you're the mods, can you do me a favor and grab that list from the ERC website? We have a nice list of the contact info. And I'll put that in the chat just so somebody that's joining here afterwards, you can get the info. But I'm going to bring it up on screen just so I can show it to you. So there are not every single third-party company has after sales service. And I'm actually plugging this group again because I don't know, they're just a good group. So Transformers ERC, exclusive repaints and customs, really fun group. And one of the things they have posted up there is the contact information for various companies. I'll actually try to find it. Let's see, here it is. So on this list, I have Fans Toys, X Transbots. Here, let me share my screen. All right, there we go. So this is on our Facebook group, but Fans Toys is serves at fanstoys.com. X Transbots and KFC are the same email. They're service@transbots.net. These are all emails, by the way. Ocular Max is customer care at mastermind-creations.com. I don't know why they put a dash in there. Fans Hobby, cs@fanshobby.com. And Zeta, which hasn't really worked recently, so I'm just putting it out there. I haven't really been able to reach them. And then Takara told me they don't have an email. That's why it has Swindle there, because there's no way to get after sales servers, unfortunately, for Takara. Now, if your retailer is good with you, good about that kind of stuff, they might replace it for you. But typically they don't have parts. So for Takara Tomy stuff, you'd probably have to get a whole new figure, and they would have to deal with it somehow. All right, so there are the contact infos. All right, so that's one thing I want to talk about is after sales service. Now, the next thing I want to ask about or talk about is third-party companies. Sorry, Larkin, I just want to show your comment. U.S. retailers are really good at getting replacements. I'll be fair. ShowZ, which is a Chinese retailer, they are also really good. It takes a long time, but they're really good at after sales service. Almost always, they're willing to work with you. So yeah, Vinny says try your retailer first and then the manufacturer. Yep, that's the way it'd go. Sometimes the retailer actually grab an extra they have and send to you. Yeah, sometimes it depends. Not always. So if you email those companies, I have pretty good luck. So Fans Toys has been good at responding. X Transbots is good at responding. Mastermind Creations good at responding. The only one on that list that I showed you is Zeta. They don't really respond. Princeton, okay, you finally got your question in. Have you seen Transformers Seeker by Riot Toys Collectibles and Ramen Toy called The Last of the Seekers? Yeah, I did see that. BotCon exclusive. So BotCon's going to have some really cool exclusives. I was kind of surprised. They have the 52 toys, the little things that turn into boxes, little cubes. And then they have something from Ramen and Riot Toy Collectibles. It's pretty neat. I haven't seen the image of it, but I heard about it. So that's pretty cool. All right, so now we're going to talk about third party after sales service, and I'm going to get specific. So if any of you guys, does anybody follow Third Party Unlimited? It's a Facebook page, and they share all sorts of images and videos and cool things from different companies, both official and unofficial. So he asked something really interesting lately, and I'm going to kind of play off of that. So he just asked the question, what do you think of when you hear the word or the name Fans Toys? And that got me thinking, I want to ask, how often do people have issues with their Fans Toys or issues with their X-Trans bots? But I kind of want to ask the same question. So what do you guys, when you hear the name Fans Toys, what do you think? Totally open floor. I'm not going to limit anybody's answers. Your opinion is your opinion. I'm going to put a question in the poll while you guys are answering that. And it's kind of interesting if you go read those. So you can go check out Third Party Unlimited and see their answers. And it's just interesting to go read it. So I'd recommend you go to Third Party Limited's page and read it. Okay, so I'm going to put the same question in. The question is, how many times have you gotten after sales service for Fans Toys? And I'll tell you mine. So actually, so far, I've never gotten a broken Fans Toys figure. I have broken them myself. I did break the Fans Toys Blur Jabber, and that was my fault. I did move the panel, but it's also a very tricky transformation. So let me see what you guys said when it comes to Fans Toys. So Road Dog says top notch diecast. Dr. Diecast says diecast. There you go. Road Dog says the best. Princeton says top 3 third-party Transformers. Okay. Dusty Shell says heavy. Vinny says solid figures, quality paint. Clinical says I find FT figures to be lifeless somehow. Okay, I can see that. Team Tyrant, one more question if I may. Okay. What qualifies for after sale service? Does a figure need to be broken in some way? I received a training bot. So it doesn't hurt to just ask. If something's loose or broken or missing, you can always just ask your retailer, especially the US retailers. And if they say, sorry, we can't help you, then okay. But they're really open to helping with that kind of stuff. It might take a while. It might take several weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. But they're usually open. Now, if it's just like a tiny nick in the paint, yeah, I wouldn't bother them about that. Or if it's a little bit loose and you can tighten the screw, just tighten the screw, But if it's something you can't fix yourself, I would contact them. So there's your answer, team. Dave Turco says, Fans Toys, rivals Takara quality, great review of Outrider. Yeah, Outrider's coming. That's coming very soon. RZQ says, too heavy. Joints don't hold up for long term. Okay. I don't know how to say your name. McClure G says, Fans Toys got me replacement parts for $10 on a figure I bought secondhand, so they're good in my book. Yeah, so Fans Toys is pretty good because they don't care where you bought it from. If you email them, you pay the $10 for shipping, and they'll ship you the parts. I've never had a problem. All right, so let's see what you guys said in the poll. I'm very curious. And if this is your first time joining my live stream, this is kind of what we do. We just have a discussion about different topics. Today, we're talking about after-sales service. And it's just informal, just kind of gauge the community. So I asked, how many times have you guys after-sales service for Fans Toys? 58% said 0. So that tells me, well, maybe I asked the wrong question. Maybe I should ask how many times did you break it? But 58% has never gotten after-sales service. 33% 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 8%, and then more than 4, 0. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I'm really surprised at how many people aren't using after sales service. All right, so next question. What do you think? And this is, again, I got these questions from Third Party Unlimited. I'm not going to take credit for it. He had the really cool idea to just start this conversation. So now what do you think? What words do you think of when you hear the name X transbots? So I want to know that. So in the chat, just put in your thoughts. What do you hear? What do you think of when you hear the name X transbots? And I'm going to put up a new poll while you guys are responding to that. And there is a delay in these live streams. So when I ask the question versus when I get the answers back, it is, I think it's like 6 or 7 seconds behind. I'm already seeing the answer. Okay. By the way, today's going to be a shorter live stream because I need to get back to Advanced Rider. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's see what you guys said about X transbots. So Dr. Diecast says bad feet. I need a little more detail than that, but I assume you mean the feet aren't stable. But give me a little bit more, Dr. Diecast. I'm not sure what you mean. RZQ says way too complex. Okay. Vinny Red says gamble if it'll be good or not. Road Dog says QC problems. Jonathan Walker, X Transbot says rolling the dice on quality of the bot. And I would be fair to them. Let me be fair. I do have some really good X Transbots figure, especially their Cosmos. I forgot his Klaatu. Klaatu is amazing. I have no issue or concerns with QC on that figure. I really like that figure. But I feel kind of the same way, Jonathan. It's kind of a dice roll. Princeton says figure problems, poor QC. Jersey's Finest says hope. I think you mean you have hope in them, or you have hope in their bots. Dr. Degan says hit or miss, totally out on Virtus now. Wow. That's interesting. I thought you were definitely buying Virtus, but okay. Michael Rogers says well sculpted, inconsistent materials, one of the top 3P companies. Yeah, so that's fair, right? They do have really good sculpt. It looks really good in robot mode, really good in the alt mode, but materials are part of the problem. But obviously up there, top 3 companies. Soul Brother says, I'm just now starting my MP collection, so I'm definitely soaking in all of this info. Okay, great. That's what I'm here for. That's why we do these live streams, is to help collectors like yourself. So I can know what I'm getting myself into with these different companies. McLure TG says, X Transbot has tune accurate bot and a pain to transform. Yeah, they definitely nail that tune accuracy. Wind says over engineering. Dr. Dice says Boost killed me. I never bought Boost. I think actually Michael Rogers sent me Boost. It was okay. Clinical says I used to be a huge fan of X Transbots, but the Gravestorm trailer and Locke ruined it. They never regained my trust. So I bought Locke, but then I canceled my pre-order, and nobody sent it to me for review, so I didn't bother with it. But I definitely heard some things about Locke, and I was really hoping that Virtus was going to be it was going to erase all of that, right? It was going to make everyone forget about Locke, and it was just going to be a huge home run, the best Springer ever made. And for me personally, it wasn't that home run they needed. Now they could still do that. I think Ultra Magnus is kind of their final shot at let's change everybody's mind about our company, right? The words that you guys are saying, let's change those words to exciting or, anticipating, whatever. Dare says Extra Man's has the same problem since 2008. Vinny says, ugh, those feet on Boost. Yeah, I'm curious more about the feet. I heard that comment a couple times. I assume you guys mean it's not stable, but just give me a little more. What do you mean by those feet? Dare says everyone says the same one great figure for them, Klaatu, and that figure isn't 2 MP. So Dare, I'll give you another one since you asked. I do think their Cliff Jumper is good. It's good quality. It doesn't have any problems. There's no QC issues. Now, whether you like the look of it is a different question because of the backpack, but I think it's a great figure. I really like, I forgot his name, Toro. I think Toro is another good figure from X Transbots. I don't have any issues with that one, but Like I said, there's only a few. I could probably name a few. You guys have more to say. Jonathan Walker says, FT has a higher cost but higher quality. X-Trans has lower cost, less quality. I'm willing to pay more for reassurance that I'm getting a good bot. Yeah, that cost thing is a huge problem and debate in the community. Like, what's a reasonable price? And I've been talking to, I don't want to put his name out there because he may not want it out there. But I've been talking to a friend of mine, and we got into heated debate about the price of fans toys. Is it reasonable for them to charge the price they're charging? And if you were a businessman, if you owned a business and your stuff was selling out, right? If it was actually selling and all the stores were buying it and people were scalping it like they do today, and then stores were, raising the prices, like, whatever, TF Source or whoever you think of that raises the prices on fans toys. If that was the case, would you lower your price? No, you wouldn't. You would never lower your price if your product is selling. There's no reason to do it. It doesn't make sense from a business perspective to lower your price if people are paying the price. Now, whether you want to pay that price personally is your own personal choice, right? You have to decide as a consumer if you're willing to pay the prices that Fans Toys is asking for. But I'm saying if I was Fans Toys and my product sells out and I have no problem moving inventory, because Fans Toys does not want to hold inventory. I'll tell you that. They're not interested in holding inventory. Holding inventory costs money. So let me just talk about this. I actually am a process improvement guy. That's my job in real life. I work on process improvement. I work on helping, make things more efficient, more productive at my company. And one of the things we talk about is inventory. Inventory is a killer of business. Having too much inventory on the floor or in a warehouse is bad for business for many, many reasons. One, it costs money to store. Two, the product can go bad if it sits too long. It can get damaged. Three, you're not making money, right? If inventory is sitting on your floor and it hasn't been sold, you're not making money. So all of them work the same way. All these third-party companies, they sell all their inventory through to the retailers or to the distributors. And then it's the distributors who decide how fast they want to sell it, what price they want to list it at. Do they want to carry stock or inventory? Fans Toys and X-Transbots and all those companies, they don't want to carry inventory. So I just wanted to clear that up because my friend told me that Fans Toys is holding back inventory or limiting inventory to keep the price up. And that's definitely not true. I know that's not true. All right. So I asked the question, how many times have you gotten after sale service for X-Transbots? 43% said 0. Another half said 1 to 2. And then 14% said 3 to 4. So very similar. So that's interesting. Is that similar to Fans Toys? About half said that they've gotten it before. All right, let me just end this here. I have one more kind of question for you guys, and then we're probably going to end a little bit earlier than usual today. Okay, so Dr. Dykes, you finally answered the question. It's the transformation of the feet on Boost. That's the worst. Okay, I understand now. Vinny says transformation. The feet are super frustrating. Okay, now I'm going to ask the same question about Mastermind Creations. And again, this is off of Third Party Unlimited's page. I didn't make up these questions. So what word or what do you think of when you hear the name Mastermind Creations? All right, so I'll give you guys a minute to think about that. Clinical says, I have their Streetwise and Groove. I think you're still talking about X-Transbots, but I'm waiting to see how they deal with Hotspot and the combiner engineering. Yeah, I am curious too how the combiner is going to come out. It looks the best. X-Transbots version of Defensor definitely looks the best. Road Dog said, I want Ultramagnus, but still bad QC makes me want to continue to pass. I did hear good things. So there was a sample copy of the Ultramagnus, what's his name? Commander Stack at a TFCon recently. And Eddie, who works at Toy Dojo, he got a chance to put his hands on it. And he said it felt good. Now, there were a couple of loose parts because it wasn't it's a test shot. but he said it was promising. It looked good. It felt pretty good. Now, I don't know about transformation because they didn't transform it, but at least in bot mode, he said it looked pretty solid. Dr. Dyke has X-Transvo's best accessories and great fan service. That's true. They probably had the best of any company, including probably Takara Tomy even, right? They've got the best accessories hands down. And I'll agree with that easily. Easily the best accessories. Dare, Bobby said it and heard in the Hot Toys community, if you love, it's worth whatever price you're willing to pay. That's true until it doesn't sell there. Like, I agree with you. Unless your product isn't selling and it's sitting, then you got a problem, right? Because now you got to move that inventory. Vinny says, I wish you could just get the accessories. I think that's a great move. So I saw that idea somewhere. Somebody said X-Transbot should just sell the accessories, sell the minifigures, or sell the like little accessory packs. Great idea. Larkin says, I think Fanstore is reasonable. They make good designs. They have parts, have a finished paint, plus the production run is really low. Yeah, I don't think it's any lower than the others. So I think all the companies are around 5,000. That's not a confirmed number. That's based on other estimates I've gotten. But I think they're around 5,000 in production runs. The problem is they just sell out. People buy them all. So it appears like there's no stock. All right. So let me see your thoughts on Mastermind Creations. All right. Princeton says, MMC is excellent. Love their bots. Okay. McClure Terry G says, good engineering, great plastic, but hardly any paint. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Not Virtus. What's his name? Saltus is probably an exception to that rule. Saltus has a lot of paint. I was really surprised when I got Saltus and found that he was like almost fully painted. But in general, you're right. There's not a lot of paint. Dare says, MMC, great engineering, articulation, but just okay and everything else. I think you're meaning paint and finish. MMC says, Larkin says, satisfying transformations. I agree with that. Nice engineering design. Satisfying price, too. I like hearing this. This is kind of fun. Clinical says, I only have one MMC figure, and it's the worst figure I own. You'll have to tell us what figure it is. Oh, their hoist. Okay. So their hoist is the worst figure I own. I never put hands on their hoist, so I can't speak to it. I have X-Transbots and now, pretty soon Fans Toys. But I haven't handled that one. Vinny says, are you getting a sample? No, I don't get samples. I am not the chosen one for samples. I don't know anybody that would be able to even get me a sample. Now, Paik might get samples because he gets samples from the TF cons and sometimes is able to review them. But I never get samples. Everything I've ever reviewed on my channel was purchased with my own money. I do get a discount with the Chosen Prime for doing reviews for their store, but everything is purchased by me. So I've never had anything sent to me. The only thing I have sent to me was like 3D printed stuff. Sometimes they send me the pretty 3D printed stuff for free as a sample. But generally speaking, third party, I don't get any samples. I've never gotten a sample. Larkin says, I have X-Transbots PTSD after their wind charge. I get you. Road Dog, the tapes were awesome. More paint required for MMC, though. Yeah, I think the tapes were really cool. I really like those. I hope they make the rest. I don't know what's going on with MMC. They've gone quiet with their tapes. And I'm kind of like, they need to put it out. I mean, the time for people to keep interested in it is going to dwindle. I'm going to ask another poll question. How many times have you gotten after sale service for MMC? I'm just curious. Me personally, I haven't really gotten. I think one time. I think once I've gotten after sale service for MMC. So let me put that question in there. And this is definitely harder by myself. I probably should have gotten my co-host here. All right, here you go. Let's see. Jonathan Walker says, MMC has that feeling of when you walk into a mom and pop shop, you know it's going to be good. That's cool. That's an interesting way to say it. Mike Rogers, yeah, that's half thought out. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Dare says, I agree. I had their hoist and trailbreaker, and those figures were very weak. So I never put hands on those. I really need to see them because I've almost, I think once I've had a bad experience with MMC, but that was a issue with the plastic. But pretty much every figure I haven't had an issue. Princeton says I have Coulter, Tarn, and Optus Knox, great figures. I agree. Those are all good figures. Winch says MMC is peak transformations and articulation plus beautiful style in general. Diecast, Dr. Diecast says MMC Finks. Yeah, I know. That was the king of Mirage for a long time. Clinical says I don't understand the hate for XTB boost. Ollie is far worse. That's a good point. Ollie has been redone 5 times, and it still has problems. They should just give up on Ollie. That's enough Ollie. Vinny says 0 for me. Oh, okay. Or actually, you know what? Let me show the poll. McClure, you wonder if MMC is holding the Autobot tapes to release with Fans Toys Blaster and tapes. That's an interesting thought. I don't think that doesn't necessarily make sense to hold anything, but maybe they just haven't produced it yet. That's my guess. All right, so I asked you guys, how many times have you gotten after sale service for MMC? 75%. So this is far and away the least amount of after sale service. That's even going up now, 78%. 78% of you said you've never gotten after sale service for MMC. That's super impressive. So MMC deserves credit for that, man. I mean, that's pretty impressive, right? 22% of you say 1 to 2 times, and then 0 said 3 to 4. That is really impressive. That's the first one I've put up on the board where you guys said, nobody said 3 to 4. So that speaks to MMC. All right. Well, that was a fun conversation. I appreciate you guys. I'll take a few more comments and then we're going to get out of here. I got to get back to Fans Toys Outrider. Dr. Daisy got Ollie right on version 3. Their VOS. I don't know what VOS is. Sucked too because no one else was doing IDW. I don't know what that means. Jersey's finest. I had to get customer service for Helion, but tape's all good. Okay, I actually had to get customer service for Helion too. The blue Helion, I had some problems with that one, but I think it was just that run. The original Helion, I didn't have an issue, but that one definitely had a problem. I'm going to skip that comment. So Princeton says, also have Ocular Max Jaguar. Awesome. Yeah, I also have Jaguar. I think he's a great figure. That was a really good design. Courtney says ankles MMC Trailblazer are bad. See, I've never experienced the MMC one, so I don't know. Vinny says, is the low number for MMC due to us having more X-Transbots Fans Toys than MMC? I don't know. I mean, I have quite a few, and I've pretty much only once had to submit a request, but that's a good question. Larkin says the after sale service I got just missing an accessory and really minor. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for today. I'm just going to, if you missed some of the poll questions or if you missed kind of the talk in the beginning about how to get after sale service, just go back and watch that because I know there's new people in this community who don't know what that means. How do you get after sale service? So you can go back and watch that. But thanks for you guys for joining. It was a fun conversation. We'll be back again next Friday. I think we're going to do this every Friday. And we'll have a new topic next week. Sometimes it might be a live review of something, but mostly it'll be a discussion. Thanks to Larkin for joining as a member. And I don't really advertise it much, but if you are interested in joining, we do have a member-only stream. It'll be at the end of the month. So when I do my Friday night live, like we're doing today, right before this will be the member stream. So there'll be about half an hour just for members, and we just chat and do some other things. And usually I'll show something too. But all right, so Have a good night. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.